What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a new segment that I'm going to be doing on this show. I'm your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going to be going over 5 books that I'm going to be sending into CBCS. I'm going to break them down, show what's wrong with all of these books, and predict which grade I think they're going to be getting. And in the second half of this video, we're going to be getting the books back, and we're going to see if our predictions were right. But before I get started on these books, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that'll keep you up to date on all the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content, because you won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on these books. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day so far. I've got 5 books in front of you today that I'm going to be sending into CBCS. Yes, I said CBCS, not CGC. I do not send my books into them. No offense to their company. They are very overworked right now. They keep having new signings pretty much every other day, and they are insanely backed up. I am an authorized dealer for CBCS as well. I do love that company. Every time I talk about sending books into them, that is where my books are going every single time. So these 5 books, before I get into the actual grades with them, the first one I'm going to be sending in is Stray Dogs, issue number 1. This is cover A. This is a very hot book right now. It did get optioned. You guys already know, though, I love Stray Dogs. This is a fantastic series, in my opinion. It's an absolute must-read. The reason I'm sending in this book, though, is because I did find a damaged copy of cover A, so now I pretty much won't be losing my raw set, so if I still want to read it, I can, and I'll still have a grade of 9.8. The next one I'm going to be sending in is the Invincible Iron Man, issue number 7. This is cover A as well. You guys already know. This is the first cameo of Riri Williams. Her first real appearance is in Invincible Iron Man, issue number 9, but cameo, first appearance, it all comes down to who's actually buying the book, just like the Hulk 180, Hulk 181 scenario. The next one I'm going to be sending in is, I love this character. I love this series as well. We've got Miss Marvel, issue number 1. This is cover A. I believe there's 6 total printings. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. This is an incredible series. G. Willow Wilson did a phenomenal job on this one. I highly suggest checking this one out as well. I've been eating up everything that is Miss Marvel right now. I've got all the series. I've got numerous copies of all the first appearances. I think that's going to be a huge character going forward with Marvel, but we'll see how that turns out. The next one I have for you today is Black Panther, issue number 2. This is the first appearance of Shuri. I wasn't planning on picking this one up. It's pretty expensive right now, but I did get a hell of a deal on that. I actually struck a deal with one of my local comic book shops for this Black Panther 2 and the Invincible Iron Man issue number 7 that I just showed off, so I couldn't turn that one down. And now the final one. I am so happy I was finally able to get a good copy of this. We've got Vengeance, issue number 1. This is the first appearance of America Chavez. Spent a decent amount of money on it. I did make a trade with one of my local shops as well, but it's a pretty solid grade. If anything, I just love those covers so much. That series has some of the best covers that I've seen in modern cover art, hands down. But now, those are all the books I'm going to be sending in. Let's break it down to see what the actual grades are going to be, in my opinion. So before I break down these books, I did clean and press all of these issues myself. I won't be using the CBCS service, although I'm sure they have a very nice service. It is very beneficial to learn how to do this on your own. It's a lot of fun, and you save a ton of money. If you're interested in learning how to clean and press books, I do have a how-to clean and press Silver Age video out right now, not Modern Age. There's a difference between them both. There's different temperatures, how you can actually clean the books, but if you're interested in Silver Age, that video is out, and I break it down fairly well. I'm not the best at it. I am still learning, but I'm comfortable with what I can do, and I'm seeing some pretty good results. If you have questions about Modern Age, hit me up down low in the comment section. I can do my best to answer those for you. In that video, I always talk about how I wear gloves, though. In today's video, I'm not going to be wearing gloves because I'm not going to be focusing on one book for a long time. I'm not going to be cleaning. I'm not going to be doing all that stuff. And when I do that, my hands get very sweaty. So right now, I'm just going to be showing off the book, so I'm not going to be wearing gloves for this one. This first book, though, is Stray Dogs, issue number 1. It's incredibly popular right now, basically because it was optioned. I think it's incredibly popular because it's a phenomenal series. I'm not going to be sticking on this one for too long. It's modern. I read it once. It went right back in the bag and board, and it is in phenomenal condition. If you start up at the right corner is very sharp. Going down the edge like that, there's no problem. Same with the left corner, is very nice. Going along the spine right there, you see no spine ticks. This book, in my opinion, should easily be a 9.8. If it becomes a 9.6, it's definitely something I overlooked. But if it does become a 9.6, before we look at the other corners, there is a little bit of color rub going along the spine. Nothing too crazy. I'm not sure if they really take that into account. I haven't sent a lot of books in before, and the ones I did send in pretty much were just straight 9.8s for moderns. But because this is an indie book, they use a different type of page, and there is just a little bit of chipping away at the color. But once you make it back down to the bottom left corner, this is the other reason it could possibly be a 9.6. I was just talking about that little color rub or chipping along the spine of this, but it kind of makes its way down to the left corner just a tad bit. I'm not sure if you can see that right there, but that could be the other reason it hits 9.6, depending on how picky they are that day. But moving along the bottom edge, very clean, very clean. Same with the bottom right corner. And as you make your way back up on the right side, same exact thing. Moving along the back side, basically same thing. Like I said, I'm not going to be sticking her on this one too much. No color rub on the back, no spine ticks. It's an extremely clean copy of this book. So I'm going to be putting away this one, moving on to the next one. So the next one I'm going to be going over today is the Invincible Iron Man, issue number 7. This is the first cameo of Riri Williams. She's going to be a very popular character at some point, but you know, it is just a cameo. But like I was saying before, I did make a deal with an LCS. I got both this and the Black Panther 2 together, so I couldn't turn that down. This one, it still is going to be a 9 in my opinion. It's probably going to be pushing a 9.4. Maybe the person that's looking at it that day could make it a 9.6. I don't think this is a 9.8 candidate in my opinion. If you're starting along the top, the only issues that I'm really having with this book is that there's a lot of odd color rub along the black at the very top. Just little like specks are missing here and there. If you go along the side, there's no color breaking spine ticks. There's a couple small ones, non-color breaking though, so that won't be a huge factor into, you know, lowering the grade. It still is obviously going into effect with it. Moving down the line a little bit more, nothing too bad, still pretty solid. I think in total there's about 2, maybe 3 at most, very small, non-color breaking spine ticks. You hit the bottom left corner, it is coming up a little bit, but that's due to the printing where it gets cut off. It comes off a little bit. The same issue if you saw it was up at the left top corner as well, but it's not dented. There's no problems with it other than that. It's just a little bit of a printing paper coming off. It's not ripped. Going along the bottom, same thing, very nice, but there is just a little, well, that's just on there. So going along this as well, bottom right corner, very nice, working way up, still very good, no problems, no problems. A little raise coming up on the top right corner. I do need to repress that and get that out, but that'll be no problem at all. Moving on to the backside, this backside's extremely nice, no color rub. A little bit of spine ticks, but it's basically the same exact thing from the other side. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, if I repress this, I might even be able to get all that out. But other than that, there are no real problems with this one. I'd say my official grade for this one is probably going to be a 9.4. I'm hoping for a 9.6 if I can get some of those spine ticks out. I think a 9.6 is doable. My opinion, definitely not a 9.8, especially with the color rub that's along the black. Maybe if it was somewhere else, it could be a little bit different, but I'm officially going to go with a 9.4 on this one. So the next issue I am going to be breaking down today is Miss Marvel, issue number 1. This is cover A. This is her first solo series, and I love this series so much. This was a fantastic read. I love the artwork. G. Willow Wilson did a phenomenal job on this one. So I bought this one from eBay. Yeah, it's always a, but what happened after that type thing. So when I bought it, I'm pretty positive it said it was a very high grade. It may have even said near mint plus on it. So I thought, all right, I'm getting a 9.6, hopefully a 9.8 on this one. Spent $100, and let me tell you, this shipping, it came in one of those bubble mailers, not even the USPS ones, just one of those cheap ones that you could buy from, I think, Walmart. It was severely taped down to 2 pieces of cardboard, and the cardboard did not even cover the entire issue. There was nothing else in there. It was horribly packaged, and it came as first class mail, which obviously isn't the worst thing, but I paid for priority. I was pretty upset about that. Then I was upset about when I got the book because it did come damaged. Not horrible, but it definitely did. Tried to put in my claim for eBay. This is where it's my mistake. I didn't realize once a claim was in, you couldn't take back what was there. You can edit it, but once you cancel that, it basically ends it completely. So I made a mistake. I thought it was on something else, and I accidentally uploaded the wrong thing. And the person responded and was like, that's not even my package. That's not this. And I was like, you're absolutely right. I clicked on the wrong thing. I accidentally uploaded the wrong thing. Let me fix this. And by me thinking I fixed it, I accidentally canceled it. And to be honest, I didn't even think I submitted the claim at first because I caught it before I submitted it. I thought, oh man, I made a mistake. Let me refix this. But I guess backing out, submitted it. So either way, I got screwed over in the book. They did get neutral feedback because I can't give them positive. I can't give them negative. Although they did stop responding to all of my emails. I sent them 4 messages, no response to either. I didn't even want a full refund. I was mainly pissed off because I paid for priority. I didn't even get priority. They sent me first class. And then the book did come damaged due to how it was shipped. But I gave him neutral, explained the whole thing, let someone else figure it out. So with this issue, honestly, I did think it was going to be a 9.8 when I first got it. Looking at the top right corner, very nice. Going along the top edge, no problems there. This is the issue, and this is what caused the problem with it in the first place due to poor shipping. It was banged right there in the top left corner. I fixed it as best as I possibly could. It looked a lot worse, so I'm happy with it now. I am still going to be sending this one in because despite that corner, I have one at CBCS already right now, and I don't think it's going to be as high of a grade. I sent it in a while ago, mainly because I wanted it for my own collection, but since this one's going to be coming back, I might keep this one for my collection before that. But moving past that, going down the edge, no spine ticks. It's a pretty solid copy. I was really excited to get this. The pictures were all fantastic, and even showing up, pictures held out. The dude didn't lie about what the book actually looked like. It does have a little bit of color rub. There is a lot of black on this cover, so, there are going to be some issues with that. But moving along the edge, still no problems, no spine ticks. A little bit more color rub towards the bottom. A little bit of an issue with this bottom left corner. Nothing too crazy, though. It's basically from the color coming off of it, but it's not dented, nothing like that. Going along the bottom, still good. Bottom right corner, very good as well. And now moving along to the top. Overall, very solid issue on the front. The only real problem is going to be that top left corner. Moving along to the back side, though, same thing. We have a little bit of a spine tick. It's a color breaking one, though, so that was the only issue. And then just that top corner, that's the only real problem. A little bit of color rub down at the bottom. So overall, the real problems with this issue is the color rub, the top left corner. But overall, it should easily still be a 9. I think I'm going to go with a 9, 9.2. Nothing higher than that, though, especially with that top left corner. It really is dented in. I'm not sure if the video or pictures is really going to do it justice. But my official grade for this one, I'm going with a 9. So the next issue I am going over today is going to be Black Panther, issue number 2. This is the first appearance of Shuri. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty solid condition book. Not a 9.6, not a 9.8 in my opinion, but let's go over it. Top right corner, very sharp, very clean, no problems there. Going along the top edge, still no problems. Top left corner, not as sharp as I would like. A little bit of color coming off the page itself, but overall, very nice condition. Moving along the edge, though, so far we've got no spine ticks. We do hit our first 2, though. Both very minor. Both are color breaking, though, so that is going to be an issue. But other than that, looks like we have about 2 more, maybe just 1. Very, very minor. Couldn't get it out with a clean and press. It's not color breaking, though. So that is solid. Maybe I could try and press this again before I do end up sending it in. Moving along the edge a little bit more. No problems, no spine ticks. We do hit the very bottom, though. It's not dented. It's not really a huge problem, but color is coming off of the bottom left corner. That's going to be an issue when it comes to grading, though. But there's not dented, like I said, no actual crease. Moving along the bottom edge, though, we do have a little bit of color coming off of the bottom in numerous spots. Not the worst thing ever. It is just color rub. It's not ripped, nothing like that, so that's solid. Bottom right corner, very sharp, very clean. Moving along the top, back to the beginning. Very overall solid book on the front side. I'm happy with it. Moving on to the back, it's one of these amazing M&M ads on the back side. And I'd say overall the back is very good too. No color rub. Spine tick wise, it's the same ones that were just on the front. Since they were color breaking, it pretty much went through to the back side as well. But that's really it for this one. I'd say overall, I'm going to put this one, I could be a little high. I think 9.2 again, but I think my official grade for this one's going to be a 9.2. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if the person's having a really good day, I'll get a 9.4 out of it. But I tend to be a little bit tougher on my own books because I want to keep realistic ideas for this one. So maybe deep down I am hoping for a 9.4, 9.6. But in reality, it's probably not going to be that. 9.4 could be at best, 9 at worst. But I'm going to go with a 9.2 on this one. All right, this is the final book that I'm going to be breaking down for you guys. It is Vengeance, issue number 1, the first appearance of America Chavez. I love all of these covers so much. I'd say the series itself was very okay, though. I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men. It was a lot of mutant type stuff, but it was all right. I mainly just love these covers. Plus, it's a huge first appearance. The shop had this one at 9.2. They had it written on the backside. I'd say 9.2 is a very fair grade for this. Starting along the top right corner, very sharp, very clean. Going along the top edge, same thing with the left side, very clean. Going along the edge though, this is where we get a couple problems. There are numerous spine ticks. Some are color breaking, very small. There's one pretty big one. I got lucky with these. They are on the white, so it doesn't show up as bad, but it still is there. We get another small color breaking spine tick right there. Going down a little bit more, but here comes the biggest one down at the bottom left corner. It's a color breaking spine tick, kind of bums me out. The other ones aren't too bad. This one's just more noticeable because it is on the black. Bottom left corner, it's a little dented. I believe the proper term is blunted, but either way, there is that problem as well. Moving along the bottom edge, there's a little bit of color rub as well, so that's an issue. Bottom right corner, no problems with it, but there is a little bit of color rub coming off the bottom. Going along the right side, no problems with that one either. And I'd say overall, the front is very solid. It's cleaned. There's no wrinkles, no problems with it, but there are a few color-breaking spine ticks that's going to knock it down in grade. Moving along the back side, I'd say the same thing. It's a very solid back. There's no color rub on the back side. There's a couple little color spots though, like one of the past issues I believe is the Invincible Iron Man issue number 7, where there's just a few spots going along the top on the black where it's just a little bit of white that I couldn't get off. Little spots here and there on this one, but overall I do think the 9.2 is a very fair grade for this one. I think after a clean and press, it was pretty dirty as well. It may be a 9.4, but I'm going to keep their assessment and keep it at a 9.2. So now let's see what the grades are. All right, so the books are out. I did not look at the grades yet. I'm going to be just as surprised as you are when we find them. So this first book, let's grab it real quick. We've got Miss Marvel, issue number 1. This is cover A. This is her first solo series. I guessed a 9 for this one because when I got it in from eBay, I thought that top left corner was dinged pretty badly. So let's see what we got. We got a 9.4 with white pages. Let's go. I guess I was a little bit hard on myself for that one. I honestly thought that top left corner was really pushed in. I thought that was going to really hurt the grade. When I guessed it, I guessed a 9 mainly for that reason. Before that, it could have easily been a 9.6, maybe even pushing a 9.8. But man, it was really pushed in. No matter what I post, it will not do justice. I think I did a pretty good job getting it most out, but it was really crunched in there. So that was the first one we got. I'm already wrong on the first one. This next book we have today is... we've got Stray Dogs, issue number 1. My opinion, I guessed a 9.8. To me, this was an absolute no-brainer. The book was brand new. It was read once. The only problem I would have had that could have given it a 9.6 is the paper. I guess it's a printing error. I don't know if they really count that too much, but we got a 9.8. To me, I thought that was just definitely a no-brainer. I'm still really pumped about a 9.8 though. Stray Dogs, super hot series right now, and if you haven't read it, you definitely need to read that series. It is fantastic. Next book we have on the agenda today is Vengeance, issue number 1. This is the first appearance of America Chavez. I love this cover. The series itself was alright. The shop that I bought it from gave it a 9.2. And I think I went with an overall 9.2 grade as well because it was definitely a very fair grade. I did still clean and press it though, but we got a 9.2, so we were on the money with 2 in a row. Let's go. I wonder if you guys out there were guessing the same thing as I did. All right, so we're going to move that one out of the way. I can't even talk about it enough. I really do love that cover so much. So the next one we've got today is Black Panther 2. This is the first appearance of Shuri. I believe I guessed a 9.2 with this one because there was a little bit of problems with it, mainly just spine ticks. I think going along the side, let me see again real quick. Yeah, a little bit of spine ticks. And we got a 9.4, a little bit better than we thought. That's awesome. Let's go. Another big book to have in our collection right now. I mean, you know, maybe I'm just a little bit harsher of a grader than CBCS is. I probably should have sent it to CGC, though. I probably could have been a 9.6 or a 9.8. So the final one that we got today, I'm sorry, CGC, I didn't mean to say that about you guys. So last one we got today is the Invincible Iron Man, issue number 7. This is the cameo of Riri Williams. I think I went with a 9.2 on this one, possibly a 9.4. I was a little bit harsher with some of the corners. See, when they have a little bit of corner that is technically, I guess, manufacturer for how they did it, I'm still a little bit more hard about it. I'm not trying to be easy on my own books, but let's see what we got. A 9.8. Let's go with this one. That is insane. I must have been extremely harsh on that one. I know I did talk about, I said this is a pretty clean book, but there was just a few issues on there. I thought, the corners weren't as sharp as they probably could be. Little tiny bit of color rub, nothing too crazy. But man, these grades, they came out way better than I thought. Thank you, CBCS. I love your cases. I'm probably going to do a separate video of its own just talking about some of the cases, because now that I'm home in Pennsylvania, if you see my other videos, obviously I have a different background going on. I'm visiting my family. And my dad, he has a lot of CGC graded books, so maybe I can do a little compare, contrast, see what I like, what I don't like, because he's got the most updated CGC, and now I have the most updated CBCS slabs, and we can, do a little difference. So what do you guys think about the books I got? What do you think about those grades? If you saw the first half of the video, do you think they were fair assessments? Because honestly, I'm very happy with these grades. We guessed right on a few of them. The Invincible Iron Man 7, way better than what I would have thought it was going to be. I guess 9.2, 9.4, potentially best 9.6, but in my opinion, I didn't think I was going to get a 9.8. But thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified. Every time I drop new content, you won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.